Hi everybody, welcome back, or welcome if you are new. If you are new, my name is Charlotte. I am working on my budget for August 2023. Oh good lord. August 2023. That just sounds kind of funny in my head right now. I don't know why. But I am working off of a single income. I am a cat mom. I am trying to pay off debt. I believe I'm around the I'm in between $9,000 and $10,000 worth of debt that I need to pay back. My goal was to have all of it paid off by the end of the year, but I have been spending way too much money the past couple months with doing house projects. I've had some medical things that I've had to pay for. I also went on a vacation, and there's just been a little overabundance on some of the stuff. So now that vacation is over, I am trying to reel myself back in on my spending and really sit here and focus on everything. So let's go ahead and get started with the planner. I'm using my Erin Condren Monthly planner. It actually will end in September, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for October, November, and December of this year, because my next budget planner does not start until January of 2024. I am looking at options of just printing out a calendar and printing out some other pages that I've designed in the past, adjusting them slightly because I've now added cash envelopes into my system now, and using those for the next 3 months. I've also looked at maybe trying to do it all on my iPad as a digital budget planner and all of that. I have not actually created anything there. I've looked at budget planners for sale that are digital budget planners, and none of them quite do what I want them to do. Let's put it that way. It's like I have to piecemeal them, and nothing is how I want it, basically. So that's what it is. But in the vein of trying to be budget friendly, budget conscious, and so that way I can pay off my debt a little bit faster, I went ahead and created my own stickers. I've been doing this for the past couple months because really and truly, when it came to printing out these stickers, what happened most of the time was that you'd have sticker sheet like this, where there are two sticker sheets on one 8.5 by 11 sticker page, and when I'd print everything out and cut it and everything, I only needed this one sticker right here, nothing else off of the page. And I felt like I was just wasting so much paper, so much time, all of that type of stuff, the ink, the paper, all of it, for one little measly sticker, basically. So that's where I just said, what stickers do I use? And I went through and created my own template, and now I update the background, the font, colors, and all of that each month, and it has helped me save some money because I have the artwork. I have a yearly subscription to Creative Fabrica, and this way it is much cheaper than every month or because I even did the weekly stickers and a weekly planner, and I stopped buying all of those as well and created my own kits. And again, they're not the best. I'm not a graphic designer. I just know enough to create templates and to add already designed things. That was what my background was, experiences is in news writing, journalism, editing, layout design. It's not really graphic design, it's layout design for newspapers, for print, basically. I did have some communication classes where it was talking about mass media and all of that. Let's go ahead and get started with laying out everything and putting the stickers down. I'm going to put all of this, I'm actually going to put all the stickers down and do all the handwriting as much as I can and put that to music. And then once July is over and I'm able to close out my July budget, and I have my savings accounts are all updated with the interest, and my sinking funds are also updated correctly, and debts are all there for the end of the month, like the total due to debts, I will come back and actually start talking to you guys about what I am doing. But for now, let's go ahead, put some music on, and listen and watch me basically design my planner really fast.
You're a rebel, getting into trouble. You are kinda like a fire, like a fire, like a fire. Unpredictable, so original. You are never backing down, backing down, backing down. That's what I like about you. So dangerous, I get this rush.
Okay, we are back to fill out everything here. So let's go ahead and talk about the month. I have been able to close out the end of July, so it is now August 1st, and starting off with paycheck, I will not be giving you guys information about what I actually get paid from my regular job that pays my bills, but anything that is additional income, I will share that with you. Most of the time it is stuff that I am transferring over from my sinking funds, but sometimes I get miscellaneous amount like a rebate, rewards. Sometimes it is I get reward points for one of my credit cards and I will cash in those points and I will put, it's basically a statement credit, but I consider it income because I receive that money and it's going right back onto the statement to pay my credit card pay a little bit off of my credit card statement. So I will share with you guys what the additional income is, but like I said, won't share paycheck 1 or paycheck 2 with you. If it goes over the budgeted amount or under the budgeted amount, then I will share this column, these 2 columns with you, but I will not be sharing these little blocks right there. Starting off with my bills, it's kind of different setup this time because I did add some cash envelope information down here. So let's go ahead and go through variable expenses. I have electric at $160. All of this is budgeted. I already know my electric bill is way over the $160 budgeted, but it is summertime and that is why I have a summer bills sinking fund to help cover these additional costs when we're in a massive heat wave and my AC, poor thing, keeps trying to cool the house down. Anyways, fuel and auto, this is anything to do with getting gas for my car, the toll pass when it updates and not updates, but replenishes what I've used from driving the toll into the office. Groceries, $300. Home security, this is for the monitoring for my security system. Miscellaneous, I always keep at a 0 just so that way it is not, I try not to have miscellaneous, but I do have a column for it because I always end up having a miscellaneous every single month, but I try to keep it a lot lower than normal, than, you know, thousands of dollars, which I've done in the past. Natural gas is budgeted for $35. Pet supplies, $300. That includes food, toys, litter, all of that type of stuff. Sinking funds, this is everything that I will be transferring into my sinking funds account. So it is $14.68. Water is $170. I have a feeling it's going to be more than that this month. I don't know because I haven't received the bill. And then anything extra I can put towards debt. So total budgeted is $2,573.15. Going on over into the fixed expenses, we have cell phone, internet, Apple One subscription, Netflix subscription, Discovery Plus subscription. Credit card 1 has a 0 balance on it. Credit card 2 has a minimum payment of $25. We will go on into the debt section a little bit later. Credit card 2, business credit card, the minimum payment is $195.83. For those of you that have been watching, you know that my forced minimum payment is $195. So I am actually, the minimum payment is actually over my forced minimum payment. So I am going to at least try to put $200 this month to this. It just depends. So, but right now I do know $195.83 will be taken out, and I would like to put a little bit more, so, but I am trying to pay off credit card too. Like, again, we will get into the debts a little bit later. Home security loan, this is the loan for the equipment for the home security. It is $62.25, and that is just the monthly minimum payment every single month. Then every month I send $100 into my emergency fund, and that is in case I lose my job. Can I be able to afford all of these bills without having to cut anything back? And I'm trying to get 3 months to 6 months, and right now I'm at the 2-month mark, getting closer to 3 months, but it's still 2 months worth. Cash envelopes. We have crafts. I have $35.19 left in the crafts envelope. I'm going to be putting $50 in there, and that is to buy planners, sticker paper, all of that type of stuff. Anything that is craft related. Entertainment, 0. Household, 0. Personal care, 0. And restaurants, 0. I took everything out and more last month on all 4 of those. So I'm going to be replenishing $50 to entertainment, $100 to household, $75 to personal care, and $50 to restaurants. Total of $325 going into cash envelopes. Entertainment, I have that for if I want to purchase an online concert ticket, or even just going out to the movies, which I don't do very often, buying a movie off of Apple, all of that type of stuff. We have the check-in already set up. I'm only going to be tracking groceries and miscellaneous over here because the other areas that I overspend in are cash envelopes. That's why I'm forcing myself to do cash envelopes. It didn't work last month, so I'm going to be a little bit more strict this month. It's going to be difficult because it is my birthday month, and I'm going to find every excuse to say that, oh, it's a gift to myself. But I have to remember, I already bought a Dyson vacuum, which was a gift to myself, a birthday gift and a Christmas gift. So I need to limit the gifts to myself because it is my birthday month. So groceries, we have $300 budgeted for groceries, and miscellaneous, 0. And I will do weekly check-ins on those. And just so you know, week 1 and 2 will be combined because I will be closing out July this Friday, and it's like today, the week 1 check-in for August is Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm just going to put those into the week 2. So week 1, week 2 budget check-in. Transaction log, this is to keep track of anything that I pull in or pull out of my sinking, or need to pull out of my sinking funds to replenish what goes into my checking account. So that's why it's over here, so it's next to the sinking funds. So now let's get started with filling out the sinking funds now that I've closed out July. So I'm going to go ahead and fill all of this out to some music, and I will be back in just a moment.
I go all in to lose or win. Real things up to knock 'em down. It's the way we keep our high, moving like a hurricane.
Okay, let's talk about the sinking funds here. Total in my car sinking fund is $1,484.55. In my inspection and registration, I have $120.25. Yeah, 25 cents. I want to make sure it didn't say 15 cents. And insurance is, I just renewed my insurance in July, so I'm going to be building up my insurance so that way I have money. I can do the insurance in January. So $39.37 in there. Maintenance, this is for any work I need to have done. It is $1,324.93. Clothing only has 2 cents in it. Gifts has $381.18. Household, this is for anything like I'm trying to save up to do a bathroom renovation, and I need about another $100 for me to feel comfortable, maybe a little bit more. So I'm working to work on my guest bathroom. I'm also taking this time as I'm trying to build up how much I need to save to do the bathroom to also heal. I have my ankle issue still going on, so while I'm trying to build up my household fund to be able to buy the paint and supplies needed for the bathroom, I'm healing. So medical, $50.05. Subscriptions, are mainly my yearly subscriptions, so $232.87. My Amazon subscription has $77.43 towards it. Viki, which is the platform I use to watch a lot of my Korean TV shows. I'm also started watching a lot of Chinese dramas as well. If you didn't know, I first started watching a lot of Asian TV shows way back when. I forget when. It was probably like 2014, 15, somewhere around there. And I watched a lot of shows that were made in Taiwan. So the Chinese, I'm familiar with it. Now I'm watching a lot of Chinese, but I took Korean classes, so I like to watch the Korean ones because I actually understand a lot more than the Chinese. But I do have picked up words over the years with the Chinese dramas to understand not everything. Like, I can hear it and know what they're kind of saying, but written form, not. I don't even know anything about the written form of Chinese. And this is for any other random subscriptions that might pop up that I just don't remember, or I need to keep a better track of what they are. I know one of them is like Quicken, which is the electronic budgeting software that I use. And I'm sure that there are some other ones out there that as I get notices for them, I either cancel them or say, yes, I want to renew them. My summer bills sinking fund. So for me, I've learned to have a budgeted amount for electric, natural gas, and water. And in the wintertime, on all of those bills, I tend to be less than the budgeted amount. So I will take the remaining after I subtract the actual from the budgeted. I will take that remaining amount and put it into the summer bills sinking fund. So that way, when in the summer, I have higher bills because electricity and trying to heat a house in Houston when the house is not retaining the temperature as well as it should. And when we're having, like yesterday, it got up to 104 with, I think we actually have lower humidity. That's why it's a little higher, but it felt like 113. So it was hot. And my poor AC was struggling just to keep the house at 75. So I have all my ceiling fans on. I have oscillating fans as well on. So it's new AC unit, but it is just struggling to keep the house at what I feel is a reasonable temperature. Because if I go up much higher, I feel hot, and it's the humidity inside the house. Anyways, so I have this. I will most likely be pulling from this again this month. That is why I have it, so that way I am not surprised. I do have a like $235 electric bill this month, so that is when I'm budgeting $160, so I'm almost $100 over my budgeted amount. Taxes, this is to pay for the service to do my taxes every year, so $96.97 is already saved. Trash, my trash is paid quarterly, so we have $24.22 in there. I think I'm going to have to increase what I'm putting over here at some point, because I do believe that my trash went up again to where it was $90 or something like that for the 3 months. And that's trash and recycling. Vacation, this is just so I can take a vacation every once in a while. So $300.08 or $308.30. I am trying to save for another cruise next year. I've already put a down payment on it. And yes, I'm trying to save for that for next year. Vet, I have 3 cats that live inside and 3 that live outside. I try to get them all to the vet if I can get a hold of them. The 3 inside I can get a hold of. The 3 outside, it's difficult to get a hold of them, but if I can get a hold of them, I do get them to the vet. So I put away money every single month to be able to afford the vet visits and any emergency vets and all of that. So I have been hit this year with the death of one of my inside cats. And also I had to take one in she had an emergency vet visit and then the final stuff at the vet. And then Sam has had some issues where I've had to take him in again recently for his ear problems. So, all of that type of stuff. And so it gets pricey when you have multiple cats and you have to budget for these. It's like kids. You have to budget if you're going to put them into school, a private school, or all of that. You have to make sure you set up a budget. Well, my budget for my fur babies is the vet and food. House. So I outright own my house. I purchased it in December from my mom. We had a rent to own plan. So I basically am paying myself rent, my insurance and my taxes and all of that. So I am putting it away so that way when it is time to pay the yearly taxes, I have money saved up. When I have to pay the homeowners association at the end of the year, I have money. Insurance in February, I have the money for it. And then anything maintenance, yes, $5.88 is a little bit ridiculous. I am going to have to reassess this at the end of this year because some things have happened when I set up how much I was going to be putting aside in the house fund. The taxes were based off of what my mom was paying in taxes, and the house was not homesteaded here in Texas. So since then, since I own the house, I live here all year long. I can homestead the house, which it has been homesteaded, which will decrease my amount that I pay towards taxes. My house appraisal has also gone down as well. Not as much as I'd like it to go down, but the company that I hired did get it to go down significantly. So I am actually going to be pulling probably out of the taxes fund this month because I need to pay them for doing that service of fighting my tax appraisal basically. So since I know my taxes will be cut a little bit, I can afford the $200 and something that I need to pay them for getting my taxes lowered. And maintenance, this says for anything. Like I think I'm gonna have to get insulation, redo the insulation in the attic. Right now I have spray foam on the underside of the roof line, but I do not have any insulation on the ceiling drywall. And I think I am going to have to do that. And that is one thing I'm going to have to figure out budget-wise, if I can afford it. I'd rather have someone else do it. That is their... I know I can lay out insulation. I know I can do that. But I'd rather have someone that knows what they're doing do it better because I can't... I'd rather have someone else get to all the nooks and crannies of the attic than me climbing around in the attic because I've done it. It is not fun because I have a bunch of dips and peaks and all of this type of stuff in my roof line, and it is not easy to navigate inside of my attic. And I feel bad every single time I have to have people go up into my attic, but that's how my house was built. They decided to make it a lot of different pitches and all of that type of stuff. So total in my sinking funds is $8,224.26, and that's kind of going through everything here and moving on into all of my savings trackers and all of that type of stuff. So I will not be sharing the 401ks and the funds. Those are technically my retirement, so I will not be sharing that information with you, but I will share the emergency fund and the money market account. The money market is what I call my emergency fund to my emergency fund. So emergency fund for me is making sure I'm squirreling away money so that way in case I lose my job, which has happened in the past. I have lost my job and I had to figure out how I was going to pay the bills, my debts, all of that type of stuff. Since then, I've learned a little bit about budgeting and I'm able to put away some money, and I have actually put away $9,772.67. Again, that I'd like it to be 6 months worth, but this is like 2 to 3 months. It's in between there. So I'm comfortable with that, but I'm not the best interviewer when it comes to getting jobs. So I've always basically gotten my jobs from temp work or contract work, and they saw how good of a worker I was, and they wanted to hire me after that. I've really never been hired at all based off of an interview, honestly, except for when I was at Wendy's and they needed a body to be working the fast food. So That's where that's at. So my money market has decreased significantly since the first of the year, where it had over $10,000. We are now down to $1,069.09. I had to pay the insurance for the house. I've had to pay a bunch of other things in here and all of that. And I had medical stuff, MRIs, dental, all of that type of stuff. And it's just slowly gotten down to $1,000. I am going to try not to pull from there anymore, because between the two of these, I have 3 months worth of living expenses. So I'd rather not get any lower than that. I want to start replenishing all of these, but first I have to pay off debt. Again, we'll get to it here in a little bit. So I'm not going to fill out 401ks or funds. So that's what that is. Moving on into debts. So currently my credit card 2 has a current balance of $536.68. Quite a lot. And total is $9,581.66. Much better than the $10,000 that I started off with in July. So we have paid towards debt, but unfortunately I have put stuff on credit card too. So the focus this month is to try to pay this credit card off right here. Main focus. And then hopefully put a little bit more towards this. So I am going to be really trying to not spend as much money. I did get a new air purifier for the front room area, and it was almost $300 for it, because it is a large room air purifier, but I've just been feeling like I've needed it. So that's where we're at right now. And I hope to be able to pay this back by the end of the month. But going in here, minimum payment is $25. Again, my forced minimum payment was always $195 for the business credit card, but it is 83 cents over. So I am going to attempt to pay $200. I know it's not much. It's less than $5 for that extra. And I won't see much change. Like the ending balance might be more than the starting balance. That's what words are escaping me. But I only get paid so much, so I have to, do what I can. And really and truly, my credit card too has a higher interest rate, so that is why I'm trying to pay that off before the business credit card. And then the home security loan, that has a 0% interest, so it is my least concern. The $62.25 that I pay every month comes off of the total. So it goes down, it'll be down to $1,700 by the end of the month. I'm okay with that. Once I get these 2 other credit cards paid off, I will be okay with it. August is starting out. I am gonna struggle really hard this month because I want to justify everything saying, oh, it's my birthday month. Oh, it's my birthday month. Oh, it's my birthday month. I'm gonna try not to have that in my mindset, because I've already bought that vacuum cleaner and I already bought it for my birthday and Christmas. So, and I had to put it on a credit card, unfortunately. Some other monthly things, expenses that are going to be popping up here and there. I mentioned about paying the $200 something to the company that fought my home tax appraisal. So I need to pay them that. That will be coming out of a sinking fund. I have a follow-up podiatrist appointment to check up on my ankle. I have that later this week, and we have to figure out what else we're doing after physical therapy and all of that. That same day, I'm taking my car in to get it looked at. I may have to pull stuff out of my maintenance car fund. I'm just not sure until I have them look at the car. It is going in for an oil change, and I want them to do the 15,000 mile service. There's also an AC service in there. And then my car is doing this thing where I've been stopped at a stoplight. I go to hit the gas and it starts going, and then all of a sudden it just like locks up, and then it's like, oh, okay, you want to go, and then it goes. So it doesn't stall, it just kind of locks up. And I don't know if it's the emergency braking system, that there's a wire loose, or so I need them to look at it. That they also sent me, the manufacturer sent me a letter saying that cars have had some issues with the fuel pump. So I don't know if it's the fuel pump or the front collision stuff. I like mentioned it all. I'm like, or it could be something else completely. I don't know, but it has less than 15,000 miles on it. I think it's like at 14,004. So I figure might as well just do the 15,000 mile checkup and everything, because it also includes some of the fuel items as well. So we have those two things. And in a couple weeks, I will be meeting a couple of my friends at a Korean restaurant. It is an all-you-can-eat barbecue, or that's what we choose to do, so we can cook our own meat. And that is usually around $50 if you add in drinks. So that's pretty much my entire restaurant budget. So I may have to pull some out of groceries to do all of that. I'll figure that out a little bit later. So as far as groceries go, I'm really going to try to meal plan. I'm feeling much better since the last couple weeks. My gut has been doing a little bit better. I just think it had to get over whatever it was going through. So I still have a lot of foods, like soups and everything, in the freezer, deep freeze, that I need to pull out and start heating those up. And I'm sticking to like sandwiches and chips for lunches, and I'm trying to not drink as much Dr. Pepper. And if I do, buy like the 2 liter where it's a little bit more budget friendly. By the end that I finished the Dr. Pepper, the last little bit of the big 2 liter bottle, it's usually flat, but that's okay. I will be having to pull stuff out of my summer bill sinking fund, most likely, because with that electric bill being that high, I'm fairly certain I'm going to have to do that, because that is almost $100 more than what was budgeted for, and all of that. So I also want to look at defensive driving as well, and that's only $35, but I have to figure out like a time when I can do it, and it might be that I do it closer towards the end of the month, like Labor Day weekend, and then I can just do the 6-hour thing over the weekend, because it'll be a long weekend for me. I mean, it is a long weekend for everybody in the US, but it's kind of my birthday week and everything, so I'm not taking any time off, but so I think that's it as far as expected expenses that I know are kind of ones that are not, they're planned, but they're not planned. You know, they're going to pop up and here and there. So a lot of it will be able to come out of my sinking funds, but some of it will not be coming out of my sinking funds. I just have to rework the budget, and that's the good thing about budgets. It's fluid. It changes from day to day, week to week, all of that type of stuff. So you just kind of have to go with the flow and just see how you're keeping up with everything. And for me, tracking my expenses weekly has really, really helped in for me to say, oh, I've overspent in this. Let me see how I can change that. So it's like restaurants. Oh, I've spent $50 already in restaurants, and it's the first week of the month. And it's like, that means I can't spend any more at restaurants, and I really have to make sure to focus on the groceries and all of that. So that is why I do weekly check-ins. So I do those every single Friday morning. I try to get them posted by 8 o'clock Central Time, but you know, life gets in the way sometimes. So I post those as quickly as I can on Fridays. But that is for me to keep track and to have you guys as my accountability partners during my journey to be debt-free again. I have to put that in there. I've been debt-free before, but I'm trying to be debt-free again, because really and truly, when you think about how much money I'm pushing towards debt every single month, it is absolutely ridiculous, and I need to get back on track on getting more money put towards debt. So in the past, I was able to put about $900 every single month. Somewhere things have changed. I know prices have gone up around the country, the world. So it's trying to put $900 every single month. It's been kind of a little struggle for me. So I also need to rein in on my extra expenses with Amazon and all of that type of stuff. So I'm really going to try to not spend any money. I have lists started, and I just need to make sure that I don't buy anything from Amazon. I don't buy anything from Temu. I think I need to buy this and buy it and everything. So, yeah, that's where we're at right now. I feel confident, although it's the beginning of the month, so you never know. This is the pessimistic side of me coming through. You just don't know what will happen. You know, take my car in to get repaired later this week, and it may take all of my maintenance fund to get it repaired. Money stresses. Oh, and I'm a worry wart, so I always think the worst is going to happen, so that way when something good happens, I feel much better. It's like, oh, okay, it's only going to be $100. Okay. Woo. That type of thing. So this video is getting a little bit longer, so I will go ahead and sign off for now. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you are not already subscribed, hit the notification bell so that way you are notified when I do post my next video, which will be a budget check-in for July, the end of July, which pretty much reiterates everything that I've kind of done here. So you can see where I ended and how I started off with August. The next video after that will be a clean with me. I am almost done with doing the cleaning for this week. I need to hit my kitchen and back entryway. That's all I have left to do, which I hope to do today and get that finished, and then start working on editing the video and all of that type of stuff. So, and then after that, we have another miscellaneous video the next Wednesday, and I forget what I have planned. Might be a decluttering video. So make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that way you are notified when I do post those videos. Thank you everybody, and have a wonderful week. I will be back on Friday. Bye everybody.